A memorial that took place Thursday for Lechi leader Yair Stern, activists focused on carrying on his legacy through the new movement Lechi for the freedom of Zion. Menachem Gottlieb was there.
Avraham Yair Stern was a Jewish revolutionary who founded and led the underground Zionist organization Lechi. Lechi is a Hebrew acronym for Lechamei Arutz Sheva, meaning fighters for the freedom of Israel. The Lechi split off from the Irgun organization, which adopted the policy of supporting the British in their fight against the Nazis. Yair was killed by British detectives in an apartment in Tel Aviv. Stern was handcuffed, told to stand, and then shot from behind.
All over Israel, there are memorial services for Yair Stern because the Israeli people, especially the Israeli youth, understand the importance of this person in Zionist history. And I think that our memorial is different because we are actually bringing activists together and trying to inspire those activists towards not only honoring Yair's memory, but carrying his legacy forward.
In a special event in Jerusalem, Zionist activists gathered for a revolutionary Zionism conference to pay tribute to Stern and discuss the relevance of his ideological path to Israel's current political situation.
Yair Stern was uncompromising in his values and his love for the Jewish people.
He was a student of the classics, but his soul was much, much more. It was what we would like to call a real Jewish neshama, a soul that felt the other, that felt other people and felt other suffering. So when he sees the distress amongst the Jewish youth in Poland before the Second World War, thousands of Jewish youth, what can be the most important thing that they could do? He tries to create an army in Poland of 40,000 people who will come to Israel and throw the British out.
He always put himself and the existence of the Jewish nation of Am Yisrael before himself, and I believe that's what's needed today.
But it's something that when you think about it, it gives you the ability to really live a life of meaning. When you're actually saying that, look, I fought for that. Even no matter what happens with it.
His teachings, his writings, the life that he led has inspired me to acknowledge the fact that we are in a perilous situation and that a Zionist revolution is not only imminent but essential to the future existence of the Jewish people.
When I think about people who made it through those situations, who actually saw the revolution they were fighting for become, to something of fruition, that must have felt something, and that's one of the things looking now. We're not finished. The revolution that he started, the revolution that he was working on along with others, that, they paid the ultimate price for, those who have the scars to show for it now, it's not over, and it's something that, we still have to work for. So it's an inspiration, and at the same time, it's something that, certain fear has to be conquered because you look at that example and say, wow, he was able to give his life for it.
The players in the game may be different, but the participants feel that Yair's tactic is something that should be learned and implemented today.
So Yair had that incredible definition. The enemy are the British. The haters are the Nazis. You can manipulate the haters if you get the story right with the enemy. If the enemy allows your people to come home, then you can manipulate the Nazis and get the Jews to come out, because anyway they don't want them. Today, in my opinion, the haters of Israel, Iran, the jihad, the world jihad, are being financed, are being armed by Russia, who are today the enemy. And in my opinion, for what it's worth, today we have to make clear to Russia that you could not make money by financing a hate power, by arming a hate power.
The participants stated that there is a difference between now and then.
Sometimes I almost romanticize the people who fought through those situations because the enemy was real clear. It's like, okay, the British are the occupying power, the Arabs are a problem, here. This is like, the problem. Where now it's like there's so much that's behind it. It's like saying, okay, well, this Western power is supporting this to force us into this situation. This Arab power is forcing this, and it's like there's so many undertones. So I think one of the first things would probably have to be a clear definition of what the battle is about. Who are the real enemies? Who are the people who are just simply misled? And really determining a plan of action. Could the same plan of action being done against the British be done today? Could that kind of fight be taken on today? Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say. Is the fight today, still a, a confrontational fight that's physical, or is it something that's physical on some level, but also has to be pushed from a political level as well as individual level? So I think one of the things that has to happen today, which may have been, something that he may have done, if he was still alive, is to motivate people to actually get out there and do something. I mean, everybody has a different, mission, if you will. But just get up and do something, and that's one of the things I think we've lost in modern Israeli society, the ability for people to realize that, okay, I'm going to go do something.
The event marked the launching of a new movement, Lechi, for the freedom of Zion. The movement will work through different channels to achieve freedom for the nation of Israel. One of the practical methods will be pressuring members of Knesset from different parties to advance legislation against accepting foreign money or foreign dictates, as well as strategically planned public demonstrations and educational initiatives geared towards fostering a desire for freedom among the people of Israel.
In 61 years after the establishment of the State of Israel, we still don't have complete political independence. In fact, in the last 16, 17 years, we've been losing our independence, and we want to get it back.
Today we have leaders who feel that it's more important to have their pictures taken with members of the UN or President of America or Mubarak from Egypt than taking into consideration the importance of the future existence of Am Yisrael.
To be independent means we're not taking money from foreign powers, we're not taking orders from foreign powers, and our leadership, the leadership of our country, behave according to the national interest of the Jewish people, and not according to the foreign policy agendas of Europe or America or Russia or the UN or anybody else. We are electing members of Knesset who are then forming a government, and they have a responsibility to the people who elected them to act in the national interest of the Jewish people. And that is not the way our governments have behaved for the past 16 years.